Hey, welcome back. Another day, another vlog. Back in Darwin. Welcome to everyone. We're here for the start of the 2021 Barra Classic competition that we do every year, or that I do with a couple of my best mates, Jolie and Nidge, and looking forward to it. Big day so far today. Big drive this morning to the airport in Brisbane, the flight, and then, yeah. Great chat with the gentleman on the plane, an old Darwin guy, so that was good. Relived a bit of me old days of living here, so it was pretty cool. Good to be sort of back home in my home hunting grounds. It's nice to be in Queensland. Weather was a little bit cooler there. Hot here, but not humid. Looks like last time we were here in March when Dad passed away, it was muggy as hot, that real humidity that Darwin's known for. That I know very well growing up here. Yeah, a lot better. Stinking hot, but no humidity makes a massive difference. So it's just sort of like work, so piece of cake. So yeah, big travel day. I went to bed early last night, so I didn't get too much done last night on the photos. I got a little bit done today. Nothing major. I'll do some more work on that, but it should be good by the weekend. I'll try and get this video out before I go away. But at least keep going for another week, I guess. That's the plan anyway. So I'll do some heavy work on it tonight. I've got about half the photos done for this video. Not as many as the last video, so it's not a monster, it's no elephant rock one, but some good little shots, so looking pretty good. Getting to one. Now, there is a heap of news, so I want to try and get through all that. I don't know where to start. There's a heap of camera stuff, so I'll just run through it as I've written it down. That's probably the easiest way, and then it's a hell of a lot easier to read. Now, Pentax, the rumoured Pentax K3 Mark III is out. It has been released. It's out and about. They've announced it, and well, it's the wording they say in it is they're great. They put all their efforts into this APSC DSLR. Oh wow, really? Okay. Now look, people are still using DSLRs. There's plenty of them out there. There's nothing wrong with them, but it's old technology. Yeah, I don't know. It's a tricky one. I started my photography career on a K1000 Pentax. I love it. It was so good, so easy to use. Film days. I never got to use DSLRs. I think I've discussed this a few times. The only one I've ever used was my 1DX. My 1D Mark II S, 1DS Mark II, which was brilliant, which actually one of our subscribers bought off me. So that was pretty cool. And it was a great camera, but having used mirrorless, having used the M50 and now the RP, I would never go back. There's not a chance I'd go backwards to film or to DSLR. You can keep that. Film, like I understand it's sort of, if you've never had film and never used it, it's sort of a bit of fun. But sniffing chemicals in a dark room, having to have a whole room of your house set up as a dark room with tons of chemicals and constantly processing, yeah, pass. No, I have no time for that. Not really into that sort of artistic side of it, I guess. It's everyone's different. So if that's what you're into, I commend you. I know what you're doing. I've done it all. Rolling my own film, processing my film, process my own prints on the enlargers, the whole works of that. DSLRs I know little to not much on, but I don't understand how you would release a flagship DSLR in this super competitive market when you're trying to keep your company afloat. Really, really tricky. Rico Pentax, a little bit of a crazy one. Now, it's not cheap either. $27.99 just for the body, or you can buy a limited 1,000 units worldwide, $3,300 US. That's 5,000 Australian for this thing for an old DSLR. I'm not saying old, sorry, for a DSLR. It's a little bit crazy. I can go and buy a 80D off Grays Online. There was a 5D Mark IV on there for $1,000. It's like, yeah, that's Australian. So it's a little bit very hard to understand this one. I'm just going to throw everything at you. So body only, or this 1,000 units only. Comes with grip, so it's got the full pro grip on it. You can buy that extra. That again was a little bit strange because That was $100. That was $400 for a grip, which is less than what it costs to buy the body and the grip as one unit. But you get a Pentax strap and a kit, which sort of ends up in the cupboard anyway. So a little bit weird in that regards. But anyways, look, they've released it. I'll go through the steps. It's going to be available on the 30th of this month to buy. It's got an optical viewfinder. Obviously, it's DSLR. Still got the pentaprism. They've adjusted that to make it super 100% clear view. Yeah. Anyway, I've got to try and do this with the right thing. Now, so it's got optical viewfinder. Obviously, ISO is pretty wild. ISO, I have to give them this 100 to 1.6 million. So low light, I'm assuming it's going to be pretty insane. I don't know what sensor they're using. 5-axis stabilisation. If that's any good, much like the Olympus, that runs about the same 5-axis stabilisation. That could be pretty good, I think. Dust-proof, drip-proof, not rain resistant or waterproof or anything like that, but drip-proof. They specifically say that. Magnesium body, so it's pretty darn light. So that's pretty good and pretty strong. So magnesium is fairly handy. Just not really good for salt water, I don't think, magnesium, from memory off the top of my head. I may be wrong there, but so yeah, just be aware that magnesium, I'm pretty sure magnesium is one of those ones that just doesn't like salt water. So just be careful if you are doing a lot of beach work or areas need salt water. It might be something that may affect it. 12 frames per second. That's pretty good as a mechanical. It's got to put that prism up and down. So that's pretty cool. 101 point AF. Dual SD card slot. That's pretty good for a DSLR. Touchscreen. 22 programmable functions, and they're available in your viewfinder. So you can see them in your viewfinder, and you can adjust them on this little wheel on the back and just pick whatever you want. So you can set up your slow-mo, your brackets, and all those sort of functions that you want to do. You can sort of preset them up and have 22 ready to go for whatever situation you're in. So that's quite handy. 26 megapixel sensor. It is phase matching AF. I've got to be honest, I haven't heard of phase matching AF. I've heard of what's the phase one? It's phase detect. It's not. Yeah, it sounds like that Panasonic disaster, Sigma disaster, that all that phase detect stuff. We know it doesn't work. The only ones that work are Canon and Sony, and they're ridiculously good. Sony being just insanity good. So look, yeah, these companies got to learn if they're not going to. They need to get that autofocus right, because this company, Canon, you can just watch someone run and focus on an eyeball as they're running and spot the dog. Yeah, your phase detect is really not going to cut the mustard in 2021. Video 4K 30 or 24, HD's up to 60 frames a second. Only records for 25 minutes. Really, that's not very flash. Or 4 gigabyte max, which is probably what I do on this show on the M50 on a 25-minute show. It'll run around 4 gigs, so that's probably about the same, I guess, as the M50. The M50 will go to 30 minutes before it cuts out, so that's the only downside I really have with the M50 as well. 820 grams with the battery, so under a kilo. That's pretty handy. Chuck on a decent lens, it's going to be about 1,000 grams, roughly, give or take, depending on what size. If you get a nice wide-angle lens on there, so you're looking at 920, so yeah. It's not too bad. I don't think it'll be too bad. Temperature-wise, it only says it can go from -10 to 40 and less than 85% humidity. Lucky they don't shoot in Darwin or the tropics, I guess, Pentax. What the? 85% humidity, that's like covers the whole tropic zone. Yeah, a little bit weird, that one. As I said, $400 for that grip and price. Look, it's hard to really get on board with this, releasing a flagship APS-C. I can sort of understand the APS side. It's quite handy for travel and getting smaller compact lenses. That's fine. It's daylight. It's no good for nighttime shooting or astro stuff. You really want the full advantage of that sensor to get suck in that light from the Milky Way or stars or whatever you're doing. So I'm sort of, I've seen, but on the other hand, I have seen some fantastic APS-C stuff, but it's normally with star trackers and some heavy tech involved as well. So APS-C, I can understand. A DSLR in 2021, we've just seen Canon dump their whole DSLR lens range. Like, they're getting rid of DSLR lenses. You won't even going to buy them again. And yet we've got Pentax trying to survive in a competitive market, releasing one of these. A little bit tricky. So look, good luck to them. A very famous brand. Proud history of making some amazing lenses, some fantastic cameras. I think that just lack of direction and just going the wrong way could be tricky. Right, now let's go to some fun stuff, exciting stuff. Canon rumours announced that there's going to be an announcement for the Canon R3 development coming up soon. No specs, no nothing. Photo of it. It's full integrated grip in there. Is it the R1? Is it what we thought was the R1? Is it the R3? Is this that high spec megapixel beast that we've been rumoured for 6 months now? Not sure when it's going to happen, how long that development process is going to take, but it's coming. We should hear something from Canon shortly about that. Looks pretty cool and a lot more fun stuff to talk about. So, and it's not a DSLR. Sorry, I can't help myself. Sorry, Pentax. I love your Takamas. I've got one. I've got the best one, the 8 blade. Now on lens front, this is a bit of a blow you away. The RF400 has been announced. The f2.8L image stabilized USM lens has been announced. Canon's going to be announcing it very shortly. Final pictures are out for that. You'll see that on the thumbnail. I'll be able to go check it on the Canon Rumours as well. $12,000 for this lens for a 400mm fixed focal length. Wow, you really got to want that 400mm. That's a lot of moolah. That's it's about 7, so that's nearly 20 grand Australian. It's going to be around the 16 to 17, 18 mark, I guess, depending on taxes. Maybe let's just call it 17 grand Australian for one 400mm length lens. That's a lot of cash. So, yeah, look, it's an L series Canon lens. We all know it's expensive, but that's pretty darn expensive. I hate to. The 600 was rumored to be 12,000. I think the 600 might be even more. So I hope you get a 15 grand spare if you want a 600. So pretty scary stuff. 5.5 stops of stabilisation. There's 3 different stabilisation modes. There's the traditional, so standard sort of stabilisation setup. Then it's got a stabilisation mode 2, which is for panning. So it adjusts for that sideway movement for panning. So if you're running along and getting photos going sideways, say runners and running with the runners or something like that, you get that panning move. And there's also, and the third mode is when it only acts as stabilisation once the shutter's released. So 3 different modes, something different, something I guess to look forward to seeing how that works and how it all happens. Simical. Good as much English. Pretty excited. I'm back in Darwin. I'm speaking Darwin again. Similar optical performance as the old EF version 3 model, I reckon. So glass-wise, it's got some new coatings. It's got some stuff there for oils and waters and fingerprints and stuff and scratches on the surface of the front and rear lens. So it's got all that stuff in there to protect it. It's got a 9-blade circular aperture, so it's going to be pretty cool for the bokeh. So that should be some really nice images coming out of this thing. 2 focus presets options, so you can set up multiple, push of a button, you can focus lock on the front, and then focus lock on another location, and then you can just toggle between those 2 focus points and take photos. So if you want to focus back a section, you can basically set it all up, and then when the light's right, you can just go bang, 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 bang. Pretty cool for landscape, so, or for say a bird watchers or animals and stuff like that. So that could be handy if you might have a foreground, if there's something runs in front of you across there, or there might be one on a branch, you know, where there's a nest or something. You might be able to pick it up either way. So I thought that was a pretty cool idea. As an L series, fully weatherproof, all that usual jazz, and so it should be for $12,000 US. That's mega bucks. So some big things. We should hear about these 2 things. We might hear about them at the same time, but there's some good stuff coming out of Canon shortly. That R3 is going to be interesting and can't wait to hear what that is all about and what it's got for us above the R5, the R6, R and RP. what this new one is, this new model is going to be all about. So pretty cool. Next one, Earth Explorer 300 vessel. Seen this in one of my emails lists I'm on. I try and gather all this information for you. Pretty interesting. Not really a boat channel, but this is one hell of a boat. If you'll see it on the thumbnail, you'll see what the hell is that. Well, this thing's actually going to be coming out in 2025. It's a 984-foot long vessel, and it's for scientific research of the ocean. So it's built to travel around all the oceans of the world. 22 scientific labs, heli deck, the big science sphere, looks like a globe. Well, that's a science sphere. That's got all your scientists in there doing all their crazy research, trying to protect this planet. Pretty wild bit of gear. Now, the only other super interesting bit about it, it's got that new molten salt nuclear power plant. So that's, well, they don't use those nasty radioactive rods. They use molten salt to get a nuclear reaction and then powers a ship, so it can basically just run forever. So 1,000-foot ship, you'd want to have some sort of free energy to run it. So pretty darn cool. 400 people on board at once. Yeah, going to be out in 2025. This thing's going to be sailing around the planet. If you, hopefully, I guess 2025, that's not too far, a couple of years. Hopefully we might see it somewhere and get a photo of it and check it out. That would be pretty cool. They might let people come on and do excursions. It'd be pretty cool to see, I think. Something that amazing. See, artistic can integrate with that scientific side of things, and you can still look pretty funky and cool, as well as just being about work. So pretty cool. I thought I'd chuck that one in for you. Now, that speaking of big ships, Ever Given, that one that blocked the Suez Canal, well, it's been seized by the Egyptian government, and they're asking the owners to pay a fine of $1.17 billion Australian before it will be released, basically to cover lost revenue for boats not travelling through, damages against the country and against the Suez Canal, and all the other, and then also to pay for when they got it out of it being jammed up. So 1.17, that's under negotiation. Obviously, the Japanese owners and the Taiwanese operators are shitting themselves. That's a lot of coin to come up with. It's going to be interesting to see how this all plays out, but that's a massive fine. Mind you, it was costing basically everyone about $9 billion a day of hold-ups. So 1.17 probably wasn't a real big sort of fee. I'm assuming they were expecting to get hit with something pretty big. So pretty crazy, but yeah, don't get your boat stuck in the wrong spot. Now, if you're a mad photographer and you know Peter McKinnon, if you're a YouTuber, he brought out a nomadic 35 litre, I think it was, camera bag. It is expensive. I'd love to have one, but I can't afford it. I've got my newer waterproof bag, which has done me so well over the last 3 years, and I have abused the crap out of it, and I'm still traveling with it today, and it still works. So that was $100. But look, if you're looking to give yourself a birthday present, or someone that's a mad keen photographer and you want a nice Christmas present coming up, well, or if you got the money now, it's on Kickstarter. There's a new one out. It's the version 2 25 litre. Comes with a little bit different setup. He's got you can buy a camera cube, your accessory packs, but instead of just the folding ones through, you get one that comes with it. It's got little small camera cubes, so you can sort of divert it and have boxes so you can pull stuff in and out. So you can have a drone camera cube, photo camera cube, sort of that sort of scenario. It looks pretty good, weather resistant, tough as nails, all the usual quality of the Nomadic. And you're looking at, if you get on the Kickstarter now, you'll save a bit of coin. You'll start off, if you just want the bag, $262 Australian. Work your way up. I looked at one with the large camera cube, one small camera cube, the Rainfly, and what else was it? Oh, the tech pack that'll go in the top section, and that was $612 Australian. So it does ramp up pretty quick. The accessories, they get you with the accessories a fair bit. There's no real discount on the accessories. But on the main pack, if you just want to pack and work your way up and buy the accessories as you go, if you've already got camera cubes, well, you probably get in the door for $262 if you're keen. Get in there now. They will go pretty quick. I don't think they'll last too long. The last one sold out pretty darn quick as it is. So check that out. They're a really good quality bag, but obviously you do pay for it. Now, DJI 2S. Look, we've got some specs on that over from one of the guys I follow does the drone work, the Drone King. Look, he's pretty good. He's given one away. He's a hell of a nice guy. Canadian guy, really cool. Come out with all the specs. This thing hasn't been released as far as I know. And I think I've got a bit of a clue. Remember we talked about DJI and calling it the One, that one in it with the capital One. Well, I've got a clue about this because, look, 2S, this is the stats he's given us that's coming out. It's 31-minute flight time. They've upgraded to a 5K video sensor, 30 frames a second. 4K is 60, so that's where your upgrade is. The big upgrade there on the video. 20 megapixel camera, 1-inch sensor. So now you've got an Air with a 1-inch sensor. I think that what might be how they've tied in that the One. I don't know what anything else on that screen meant with the shop and whatever else, but maybe that's what it's all about, the 1-inch sensor. Get ready for the One. Get ready for the 1-inch sensor Air 2S. I don't know. I'm still sort of two minds. It's got 2 new sensors at the front. That's for active tracking and a new autonomous modes on it as well. So other than that, pretty much the same as the old Mavic Air. It's going to be more expensive than the old Mavic Air, so be aware of that. If that Mavic Air will probably do most of you if you're only looking for 4K. If you want to upgrade that and don't want to go up to the very old Mavic 2 Pro, which we're waiting for, the Mavic 3, yeah, might be an option. Something different. But 1-inch sensor, do you think what I'm thinking? I'm not sure. Let me know. And then I just want a big shout out to Rode. Just look, customer service. I'm a big fan of customer service. Every time I go to the States, customer service is amazing. I've always said Australia's pretty much sucks. Occasionally you get some really good customer service. So it's good to give them a shout out. Shout out to Rode. They don't make the microphones. They use the Wireless Go. They've got the new Wireless Go 2 out, which look amazing. Got to save up to buy one or sell my old ones. So if you want to buy my old ones, let me know. And then I might be able to work out a deal where I can send you these and then buy the new set. I've got to suss it out. Money's got to save me pennies. Well, anyway, big shout out to them. I have a microphone that I use in my iPhone. So it's the old plug-in lightning thing, goes straight in the side. Well, on their new one that they just released, that USB-C one, which we talked about, they have a new little footing that goes on the back of the microphone, and it's got 2 feet, and it just basically hooks into the back of your phone so you don't get any flex. So when you're talking and walking, the one I've got currently wobbles and then falls out. So I've got a lackey banded onto my phone, which is not the best of ideas, or onto my tripod, mini tripod, or where I've got the phone mounted. Send them an email. Look, I can't find this. How do I get this part? It's not in your product registry. I can see it on as part of the new microphones, but it's not its individual part. Look, those guys are legend. One of them got back to me and said, look, Ash, we know which one. Right, send us a picture. Yeah, got it. We're going to send you one out. How nice is that? I'd even told them, look, I bought this on eBay. I just want to buy one. I don't care how much it costs. I just want to get one on it. I know it's going to make a big difference. They were that kind enough and just fantastic customer service, and I do appreciate it immensely. So I thought I'd better just say thank you to them before I forget. So yeah, that was pretty cool. Rightio, and that's about it. First day in Darwin. Got to get out, clean the boat, get this up, and I will see you all again tomorrow. Whether you're coming this way, that way, I'll catch you tomorrow. Peace.